ANgelHeartRadio programs should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice, nor your own sound judgment. Welcome to ANgelHeartRadio, where we inspire you to remember your magnificence. Join the conversation on our live streams. Head on over to ANgelHeartRadio on Facebook. And there's even more for you on ANgelLight777.com.
I'm Annette McCoy, and it's my great pleasure to be with you as always. Welcome, Lois.
Thank you, Annette. Lovely to be with you again.
Lois had a birthday yesterday, everybody.
I did.
Exciting.
Aren't I lucky? Another one.
And that's an important comment. And
Yes.
That's something, Lois, I say to people, because we all know of people who don't make the age that we're suddenly turning. And I think, well, how fortunate am I to be here and being able to celebrate?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind either. A lot of people complain about getting a little bit more mature, but no, I'm grateful. Yep, it's good. It's a privilege.
Well, I know that being aware that we are spiritual beings having a human experience makes life easier for me, because I know that I can call on spirit myself as well. How can I say it? I feel empowered because I know more about myself and where I come from, etc., etc. And
you understand yourself a lot more too.
Yes.
It's like a story that I could tell you, Annette. I've had this strong perfumes. This is what spirit do, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
This strong perfume around me for about 3 months, and I kept thinking, oh, that smells like jasmine, very strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I haven't got any jasmine anymore in my house out in the garden, and I've been ignoring it a little bit, but it kept coming back. And yesterday it was my birthday, and this beautiful big strong smell of similar to jasmine came along again, and I thought, goodness gracious, I don't know where that's coming from. And I didn't think to speak to spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I just sort of thinking, I don't know where that's coming from. It's so strong. I wonder what it is. I was speaking to my friend Thea, as I mentioned before last night. She said, oh, Loie, they call me Loie.
Mm-hmm.
I can smell this really strong perfume around me. And I said, so we got speaking. Then she had a message for me.
Oh.
And so that smell, fragrance that I had, because I ignored it, and I was speaking to Thea because she's the medium. They went to her and let her know. It was my mother. It was my mother. Yeah, getting through to me.
Now, was jasmine special to her?
It smelled like jasmine, but as Thea and I worked it out, it wasn't jasmine. It was. I couldn't remember the fragrance that Mum wore. Okay, the perfume. I can't remember the name because she wasn't great on it. On perfume, she might have just put it on for a special occasion. But this is the way she was getting through.
Mm-hmm.
This strong, whether it was special to her or not, this is the way she was getting through. So it was wonderful the way it worked out. I finally got an answer to those months of this strong fragrance wafting around me, and very strong, extremely strong. You couldn't ignore it. And I'm looking around thinking, where the heck did that come from? I just wasn't in tune.
Right.
And I didn't think it'd be my mum for some reason, because my mum hasn't come through as much as my father, and so I don't know, I just sort of wasn't in tune. I had other things on my mind, and she knew that, and that's what she was delivering, telling me that it would be okay.
And
a happy birthday too for me.
I know. How wonderful that she came through on your birthday finally.
I know, isn't it wonderful?
Oh.
I know. I thanked her last night, but I have to really thank her properly today. I do talk to them. I love talking to spirit. Actually, I say to them, I know you're there, so listen. Can you listen to me, please? And thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's so important, the thank you. We so often reach out and we get the answer that we want, or the request is answered, and do we say thank you? And gratitude is so important.
Oh, absolutely. It's a universal law. It's a spiritual law, gratitude. That's one of the laws, is honesty, gratitude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of the two laws.
I want to pick up on the fact that you have this gorgeous gift of mediumship, and yet you ignored or couldn't quite work out what was going on. And I remember, gorgeous Prudence, that's lovely.
That's my dog. She's joining in and saying she agrees.
Yes, she does.
I hope there's not someone at my front door. Hang on.
All right. While Lois is going to her front door, I'm going to say to you all that it's interesting how we get caught. That's okay. We can get caught up in the moment. I remember John Edward, the very famous medium, said he couldn't understand that he hadn't heard from his mother, because he'd said before she passed, make sure you let me know that everything's okay. But he had been ignoring the flickering TV for weeks and weeks, if not months. And that was her.
I know. I just can't believe I ignored this a little bit, because I usually think, oh, I know that's a sign of something, or something's going on, and I'll think. But I have had some things on my mind lately, and I think I'll let that take over. Because we're only mere mortals, aren't we?
Well, we are, and I think that's a great message for our audience, because we can all tune in if we want to, and where spirit are there, they tell us in so many different ways, and yet if we're not tuned in, we can miss our loved ones reaching out to us.
Absolutely, we do. Yes. You really do have to, when something out of the ordinary is happening, you really need to stop and think, who is that? I've learned something too a few months ago, that if you put your hand to your heart and ask, the people that aren't used to, people think you have to be psychic or a medium or clairvoyant or whatever to be able to get answers. You don't. The answer will come. Put your hand up to your heart, take a couple of deep breaths and just ask the question, and the heart will not lie. It will give you an answer, and just trust that your answer is the truth, but it is a matter of being still. You just can't go sort of driving the car and looking to see where you're going around the corner and saying, well, what was that smell? Can you tell me? Because you're not quiet. You need to be a little bit quiet and hear the answer within, and you'll always get an answer. If there's something, you will, even if you've got a problem. You need to sit quiet for a while and just take a few deep breaths and put your hand up to your heart. The heart has an intelligence. It's been proven now, and the heart won't lie. The mind will, because there's clutter in there and ego, and you argue with yourself, don't you? You just argue and think, oh, no, couldn't be that, couldn't that. But put your hand to the heart. It's been proven that it has an emotional intelligent. It's very intelligent, and so, go for it. and see what sort of answers you get.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mitchell Kuhn, who is another
I've heard of him too.
Psychic here in Australia. I've just read his book, Sensing Psychic, I think it is, whatever. And anyway, it's a great book because it explains to us different ways that we can tune into spirit. And that was one of them. The fact is that, when we listen to our heart, that's the knowing. And he said, how can we tell the difference between the mind chatter, if you like, and the heart? And it's that knowing, isn't it? Even if I'm trying to make arrangements, I have this knowing as to whether it's going to work or whether it's a case of, okay, well, let's pencil that in and let's see what happens for both of us. Because I know that I'm going to be where I'm meant to be at any certain time.
Yes. I think your heart, if you just have to, it's a practice, I think, that you really have to listen to your inner voice.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't do that because their lives are busy, and they don't trust it anyway. They think their mind is the power.
Right. Mm.
Because that's how they operate, everything comes from the head. And so really, if you see, we have a gut feeling, don't we?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And sometimes I think people ignore it because it doesn't suit to get that answer because it's a truthful answer. And that could cause havoc,
Mm-hmm.
A truthful answer. It could, because sometimes you might have to really rearrange your life or come to terms with some things.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people avoid it because it's so powerful. It really is powerful, the gut feeling and the inner voice. It's extremely powerful, and it's the truth. And the truth isn't always happy.
Palatable.
It needs to be addressed, some things, So that's very hard to think, oh, I've got this feeling. Oh, no, I don't like that feeling. I don't want to look at it. It's going to change my lifestyle, or it's going to change my marriage, or it's going to change a relationship, or it's going to change me, and I don't want to be changed, So it's powerful.
Yes. That brings me to the point, Lois, that when we have concerns, and sometimes, and I've heard that when I know that I have a problem or a concern, that's the time to act on it, rather than letting it fester and become bigger. Because sometimes something that might be concerning me, it doesn't go the way I think it might. It's and I think, well, here I was maybe worrying about something that I didn't need to worry about.
Annette, I'll tell you something. When I first come into spirituality, which has been a long, long time, I was in late 20s, early 30s, where I was really talking to the universe and asking for guidance and help. And I'm just not happy with the run-of-the-mill of everything, just running to work, paying bills, having a good time, having a bad time. I need more than that. Mm-hmm. So I feel very connected to it. But I do remember I was having a very bad time and emotionally, and I was unwell. And I remember praying and lying in bed, praying as hard as I could. And I heard, and it's the only time I've ever really heard anything, I heard, "We are here." And I've never had any doubt from that day on. Mm-hmm. And the panic attacks that I was having when I was praying for help subsided straight away. Because I heard that voice, "We are here." I heard it. Someone said to me, "Yeah, but you heard it in your head." And I said, "No, I heard it in my head, but I heard it,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And from that day on, I've always said, well, I know you're there. I know you're there. You just have to help me. But I have to hear the answers. I have to listen to the guidance, you know, and the guidance isn't a voice, it's happenings, isn't it?
Yes. And
that was a voice at that time to reassure me that they were there. Never heard it since, but I heard it that night, and I was having an awful panic attack, and then it went. It went, and I've never had them since. And that was maybe 20 odd years ago. Yeah, 25 years ago. About that.
See, and it's that knowing that as you say, inner guidance that we can, and to be aware that yes, we can ask for support. I mean, sure, we can ask for support here on the earth plane, and that can be difficult, especially for independent people and givers, to be able to.
Yes, that's true. And some people find asking for help. I'm better at asking spirit for help than I would people on planet Earth. Because you don't like to put people out. You don't like to burden them with your problems, you know. And I'm a little bit shy of saying I've got this and that, but I certainly load it on up there or out there or just here, you know. I certainly rely on them, and I go, oh, I'm so sorry, here I go again. But, you know, the best thing is to speak to spirit, just your personality, just, you know, just how you are. I would say to a friend, I'm so sorry, I have to tell you this, and I'm upset and don't want to spoil your day, and la, la, la. And that's how I speak to spirit. Just be totally you. That's how they like you. This spirit have been here, done all this. You know, they understand it all.
Right. Gorgeous. I'm going to say to our audience, if anybody has a question, or maybe you'd like to reach out to somebody in spirit, Lois is here. We delight in chatting, and Lois also delights in helping other people. So, and I'm sure our conversation today is helping others.
Well, yes. People that are tuning in to listen to this, Annette, are into it and looking for guidance. So let's hope we can give them some. Absolutely.
Well, even our discussion thus far, I believe, is very helpful to us. I love sharing and listening.
Yeah, I do too. Yes.
To the wisdom of others and the experiences of others, because it's through this sharing that we can learn and develop ourselves. And you and I know that we've played massive roles in each other's growth and understanding.
We sure have. We've come a long way. There's no doubt about that, because, Annette, you were forced into this in sad circumstances, although I would say that you had it there. Just losing Barry brought it more forward. Yes. And I believe there are catalysts. No, it was your time of ill health that brought you. Yes. And so I believe that, and we either reach out or we don't. I mean, I'm so grateful that Barry's passing has led me to the life that I now have. And what a gift that he gave me in a way that I had no idea at the time. No, but you embraced it beautifully too. So it was a big part of you. So it was there. It was just buried in amongst being married and having children and going to work. But obviously it was there, or you wouldn't have embraced it so beautifully, which you have. You know, you just have. And I know a lady that she was an elderly lady, and she came to me, and this is when I first started readings, and I thought I'd do a little trial run to see how I go. And she had a very, very sad life, and I think she was at wit's end with it. And I spoke to her about experiences and prayer and all what we believe in, and telling them that they were there. And this lady is 80, in her late 80s now, and she lives in Queensland. And she rings me and says, I have to thank you so much for what you done for me. And I said, look, you did it. You embraced it. She embraces spirituality. She has her crystals. She prays. And she says without all of that, she doesn't know where she'd be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's just so happy. But she wants to thank me all the time, but I go, thank yourself, because you embraced it. You brought it into your life. I just was there just to guide you a little bit. And then for the next 20 years, you've been doing it all yourself, you know. So thank you to you, you know.
Yeah.
But there's one thing, unless you've got someone interested in it.
Well, Charlie Atwood is saying hello and how are you both? A lovely question. I'm delighted you're here, Charlie. Thank you.
Charlie boy.
It's Charlie, actually. Sometimes I can get names awfully wrong. I do apologise. So, you were going to say something, Lois?
With this lady that I was telling you about, that's in Queensland, that embraced spirituality, and she's had wonderful health and happiness through it too now. One day she rang me and she was very down. She had a bad day, some memories going back, and she said, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And I said, okay, we're going to do an exercise here, and everyone that embraces spirituality and it is part of their life, we all can feel a little bit down and like they're not working with us, and you know, a little bit despondent. So I said to her, just do an exercise, and I'd like all the people that are listening to this that think, oh, I don't know, it doesn't work, and I pray and I do the best I can and I embrace it in my life. You know what? Just do an exercise where you think all that's gone. You don't believe in spirit. They're not there. You've just got you. Take it all out of your system, throw it in the bin, and you've got you. And I said to this lady, how do you feel? Because you haven't got any belief system anymore. You don't trust in spirit. It's all gone. You've just put it all in the bin. She said, oh, I feel shocking. I feel terrible. She said, bring it all back. And I said, yeah, bring it all back. Believe in it. Go with it. Because it was an exercise that you took it out of you.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That you didn't believe anymore. And that, you know, it was all rubbish. And she did it very well. We closed our eyes and did it. And she said it was terrible. It was terrible not having that belief system. She said, I'm right now. I'm good. I'm back on track. You know, I'm going to not feel like that anymore. I just have to be patient and wait.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's timing. Everything is timing. I know we all get impatient. I've got a situation where I'm a little bit impatient about in my life, and thinking, oh, this should be addressed by spirit, but they know the time in it. Everything is timing. They know when, because it's not just about us, it's about the other people around these people too. And this person will learn when it's the right time.
Sure. Yes,
so
as much as
pardon?
We'd love to wave a magic wand, wouldn't we, over ourselves?
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely, because as much as I love spirit and I pray, I have a downfall. I'm impatient.
Mm-hmm. Now, we have a couple of comments in here, which I'm really impressed with. Joanne has joined us. Welcome, Joanne. And she says, I feel myself being pulled into this world, meaning spirit, after losing both of my parents in the last few years.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I wouldn't doubt that that's not her parents helping her to do that too, knowing that she has to have some sort of faith, you know, outside this world that we live in. And because they want you to know that they're there. So she will, yes, that's beautiful. She's lucky. I think her parents are working. Her parents must have been very, very beautiful parents, very good people, spiritual in their own right. And I think they could be pulling her towards that, whereas she can't. She said she feels like she's being pulled towards it. So that's probably your mum and dad have got you by the shoulders and saying, yeah, come on, you know, and to have faith that we're up here too. I think actually I feel like I need to pick up on something with her. Was she very close to her mother, and they had a lot of fun. They did things together. Some kids don't really, they don't have time, but some children are very close and they do a lot of things with their mother, and they went shopping together a lot and mixed a lot.
Right, well, I'm waiting for Joanne to respond. Welcome, Annette. Thank you for being with us. And while we're waiting for Joanne to respond, Charlie, now, Charlie, I'm hoping I'm saying it because I was correct, but I said Charlie and then I said Charlie. So I'm doing the balancing trick here. Charlie, I was in heaven for 3 days when I was 19. I know it's real. My goodness, for 3 days. I take it 3 days in earth time. Shaylee, thank you, Shaylee. Now, Joanne is saying, I'm jumping around here, but it's wonderful. Her mum loved their coffee dates and shopping.
Yes, that's the one I was picking up on. Yes. And I think I'm speaking to Joanne, aren't I? Yes.
Yes,
Yeah. And did she join her mother a lot? Because I felt that they were very
our coffee dates and shopping, yes. So they
absolutely. And the mother, I think Joanne has lost this a little bit since her mother's passed. And she said, and her mother wants her to continue it on, just go back to normal, you know, go back full steam ahead again. Enjoy. And I think her mother said her throat's a little bit better. So I don't know if Joanne can confirm anything there.
I'm sure she will. Shaylee was saying that, she was in a coma on a ventilator for 3 days.
Yes. I think that happened to Dr. Eben Alexander. He was away for quite a while too in the spirit world, maybe 3 days. So that does happen, yes. Lucky girl. I
know, what a wonderful experience.
I know, I'm jealous. Well, not being in a coma, I don't think, but no. I just would like them to take me one night and say, come on, let's go and have a look at all this. And do you want to stay for a few days? No pain.
Well, that's right. Yes. But thank you for sharing, Shaylee. That is gorgeous. And Annea's saying that she read Dr. Eben's book. He was absolutely amazing. And she'll see if she can find. Did you just mention the title, Lois?
No, Eben Alexander, I know.
Sorry.
The author, but I don't know the title. I do have the book here. It was brilliant, because he was a neurosurgeon and he did not believe in any of this because they're scientifically minded, you know, and anyone that experienced this before, it was just the chemicals in our body, you know. And of course, he passed away and went to heaven. and he met a sister that he'd never met before.
Wow.
And
then
was able to come back and say to his family that his sister was up there and he met her. And I don't think, if I'm getting the story right, it was a long time I read it, a long time ago. You know, he was able to explain about this beautiful girl, and I was saying, yes, that was her, you know, that he had no connection with or no knowing of her.
Well, apparently there's a video about his experience, because Lee Michael has joined us and says, I just watched a video about his experience the other day.
YouTube. Yes.
Now, Shaylee also says she was given a choice on coming back. Absolutely no pain. It's incomparable to hear. Is it?
Yeah. I read up on this all the time, near-death experiences. And I think really it'd be an interesting show, Annette.
It would be.
Bring people on that have had this experience. I know someone that has and has gone to heaven too.
Mm-hmm.
And she couldn't get, and everybody has a different version of it, and they say you do because that suits you and it's calming to you and it's part of your belief system too. So
it's interesting how some people are given a choice and others aren't. It's a case of, no, your work isn't done, back you go.
Yes, and there's thousands out there of this, apparently. Thousands of people that have had this, but they don't talk about it because they have the fear that people will think they've lost the plot.
Right.
We're dreadful, aren't we? Why can't we just believe people, you know, and listen to them when they're talking from their heart and such a wonderful experience instead of thinking, oh, they're nuts.
Interesting point of view. I would love to do a show with you on, near-death experiences.
Yeah, I haven't had a near-death experience, but I've certainly seen spirit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But to get people such as Shaylee, if she was interested to
it'd be wonderful if she could. You don't know how helpful it would be to everybody. It'd be just wonderful if you do that. Terrific.
Now,
I'd love it. I'd love to hear about it too.
All right. Well, that's a definite for 2022.
Yes, and I think I might be able to talk someone else into it to come on. But I know that had the near-death experience too.
All right. Now, Joanne has said, thank you so much. I do feel her still around and I still visit our favourite places.
Oh, brilliant. Lovely. Yeah. And I said something about her mum's throat. It feels better. Just
I'll wait on that.
Yes.
Now, Charlie has opened up. Thank you, Charlie, for sharing so much with us. It gave me enough to make it through this very difficult experiences that I have faced since, because she had killed herself. I will always talk about it. I don't care what people think. Good on you. That's what we need to. We all need to have
fabulous.
The courage. Yeah.
Oh, and
yeah.
Amazing.
I have did that time and one other. I would love to do that. Oh, good on you, Shaylee. Well, I will reach out to you.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't we have it tomorrow?
Yes. Well, that's right. Yes. Why put it off? We'll have to see.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, good girl.
Exciting.
It is exciting. It was meant to be, Annette.
Absolutely. See, this is what I love about this experience and opportunities through ANgelHeartRadio, because we're bringing information. We're giving people a voice. We're giving people the opportunity to hear other stories as well. That broadens our own understanding. So, Shaylee, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your story. And cool.
Yes,
Now,
I'm
Joanne.
quite excited about this. I really am. And you might get some other people in too now that
Yes.
Shaylee has spoken about it. There might be a few other people out there that would like to come on the show and talk about it. And I'll definitely talk about, mention it to the person I'm speaking about that had that a near-death experience too, to see if she'll speak about it too.
All right.
It's so important that we hear this. It really, really, really is. Proof of the other side, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, blows me away. I just love it.
Yeah. Now, Joanne has got back to you. Her mother had pancreatic cancer, but she did have a tube down her throat for a while.
Yes.
Which I know she hated.
Yes, that's what she's saying, that her throat feels better.
All
yes,
right.
I understand what you went through there, Joanne, because my mother died of the same disease. And it's hard going. Yeah, it's a hard one, that one. Mm-hmm. But she's at peace now and walking around with you. She always had a lovely handbag, your mum. Nice handbag hanging off her arm. Very smart lady. Yeah. And actually, I can tell you that she's saying that she can't stop smiling. So she must have been a very happy person, but she's very happy where she is. And she smiles all day. She can't wipe the smile off her face. She's so happy where she is.
Gorgeous. Now, Michael is wondering if we are doing readings, and if so, I'd be open to hearing from Spirit. And so thank you, Lee, for reaching out. I get a sense that Lee's a male, and I'm enjoying watching. Well, thank you, Lee. Well, it's great that you're here.
So Lee wants a reading?
Yes, please.
Okay. So
hearing.
Okay, Lee. I have a feeling that you're a little bit, I'm picking up from Spirit that you're a little bit down and out, a little bit depressed and bewildered about life. You know, you're not quite sure what to feel and think. So I'm feeling that they want you to get some faith, and they're saying that everything will be all right. And there's nothing, I'm picking up that they were saying there's nothing you could do about this. This is all in the right timing, so not to feel too despondent about life. Okay? I feel that it's a male too that is around him, that's coming through. And he's saying that he's okay where he is and he's happy, and he knows that if it's Lee, a boy that we're speaking to, that you are worried about him all the time. You're worried about this male. You think about him all the time, but he's saying that he's okay. He's fine. This person that's presenting himself to me has grey hair, has a full head of hair and grey hair. And I feel that he was very sick for a while, and it has disturbed you, but he's over all that and he's happy where he is, and he walks around close to you. He hasn't gone on way up into the spirit world, as I say, because there's all levels, and he's walking around and he's feeling much better and much happier about where he is than he was in life. Life was a bit sad for him and a bit hard, and he just wants to let you know that he's okay. And I'm going to take an angel card out to give you advice. I'm going to pick one for you, and let's hope that this male that I was in touch with will guide me to the right card for you, because I do feel like you do need a little bit of help. So you have to look after yourself. So pray to the Archangel Raphael, and he'll guide and help you. So I hope that has helped you, Lee.
Shaylee makes an interesting comment. She says to Lee Michael, stop blaming yourself. And
Yes.
that's a message for so many people, isn't it? We
blame ourselves for a lot of things. Gee whiz, if my children are unhappy for a minute, I think it's my fault.
Yeah.
I wonder what I did wrong, or that particularly women, I think, have a big guilt thing.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because last week my guest was Dr. Robin Mills, and we were talking about grandparenting and the joys of it, but also up came our individual feelings of as on ourselves as parents, and how we felt guilty and blamed ourselves. So how interesting that Shaylee has brought that up again today. Lee says, thank you so much. The first part is extremely spot on about where I'm at emotionally. Not sure who the male is. It could be one person, but I wouldn't expect this person to come through. We didn't have a great relationship.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a person that's coming through to more or less telling him, that he's okay. It doesn't matter. It's what he needs. Anyone can come through that you once knew,
And thank you, Lee, for saying that, and Lois, you saying that as well, because recently when Barry Gray was on with Annette, somebody I certainly didn't expect to come through, came through. And yes, it can and it does happen. That person, I believe, is taking an opportunity that we here don't expect. But how lovely that they choose to come through.
And it's a person that wanted to come through for some reason. Maybe you need to think about this person. You didn't have such a great relationship, but maybe there is something in it for him to come through, but could he confirm that this guy was unwell for a while?
All right. Lee is a male, which is
yes.
We're both spot on there. Thank you, Lee. Yes, he will wait for that one. Grace Bird has joined us. Good morning. So good morning to you, Grace. And she's thanking us, or thanking you for your work. I would also be open to hearing from the spirit world.
Right.
If I'm not rushing you or the spirit world.
So I'm speaking to Grace?
Yes.
Grace. Okay. So what I'm getting here is a female around you. Okay, and I don't think she's very old, but she was a very, very happy, lovely person. And you think of her a lot and you remember her happiness and her brightness. And the message from her is for you to live your life like she did, because it doesn't matter. To be happy is the right way. It doesn't matter if you die because you're young and happy. That's what was meant to be. So just keep living your life. Don't let any of this dampen your spirits if you're sad about her. So don't let it dampen your spirits. Just still continue to live your life happy and loving. She loves you. She's around you. She said, go girl, go for everything you did. You're a very active person and you do a lot of things, and don't stop it. Keep going. Don't be afraid that, I'm happy and it might be taken away from me in a minute. No, just keep living it. Just keep doing it. She's sending you lots of love and lots of flowers.
Gorgeous. We can get really down, can't we? Especially when somebody passes much younger. And, if somebody loses a child. I haven't been in that situation, fortunately for me. I can understand that it is incredibly difficult to go on after such a situation. However, I do know that those in spirit, when they look, they want us to be happy. They want us to remember the good times and smile and live on happily, knowing that their time on earth, for whatever reason, came to an appropriate end.
Yes, and people feel very sad and they feel like they can't live the way they want to live because they just feel sad. But this lady, I do get that she wants you to continue on. Don't be afraid. It doesn't matter if you're happy or sad. When your time's up, it's up. So, you know, don't let death of a person change you.
Now, Shaylee, oh my goodness. Boy, Shaylee, your life has been incredible. Her firstborn child, Skylar, blessed her with 10 weeks and 3 days of being here. The most amazing gift I have ever received.
Yeah, beautiful. She'll be a beautiful angel.
Well, she is. No
Yes,
doubt.
she is a beautiful angel and unscathed by life's demons.
Now, Lee is giving feedback. I know it doesn't matter. I've actually asked him not to come through, to be honest. I know our perspective totally shifts when we cross, but there's a lot there for me still. It just occurred to me, this could be my other grandfather, though. He was unwell for a while and had grey hair. I was closer with him.
Yes. Very good, Lee.
It is important. Sorry, Laura.
Telling you to step up, you know, a bit of guidance, sort of. You look after yourself. Don't get too down and out. No need for it. Pray to him. Talk to him. He's come through for a reason. So, and he'll help you. Yeah, he's come through. He loves you. He cares about you, and he'll help you, you know, to pick your pieces up a bit.
And it is important this is what I love about the fact that this show is videoed, so people can watch again, because as I well know from my reading with you, Lois, all of those years ago when we met, when we're having a reading, we can have certain people in mind, and it's really important that if who you're describing doesn't quite fit, that we think it, reflect on it, because sure enough, that person will be who's meant, whether it's a message from spirit about someone here and we can have the wrong person in mind, or the other way around. So most important that we reflect.
Yeah, and I really do believe, I know sometimes you want this particular person to come through, and there's a reason why they don't, but we have no idea why, you know. We just don't know. But I know why. It's not the right time for them to come through with advice. You're not there yet. You haven't done the growth, you know. You get, what you need.
Well, Lee is he appreciates your insight. I appreciate that. Thank you for the insight. Yes, this sounds much more like my other grandfather. It didn't occur to me at first it could be him, but it matches. Boom, boom.
Oh, well done, Lee. And good luck. You'll be right. Everything's going to be good for you. Someone there in spirit is after you, looking after you, and that's the one you pray to now. And that's the one you ask for guidance, because he's the one that's come through. So we have to honour what he did.
Yes. And Grace has got back to you. Thank you. I appreciate the message. It is timely, even though I am not entirely sure who the young person is. Possibly my young.
Well, I wouldn't say like a young person, like I'm not saying like a 10-year-old or anything. I'd say she was a young woman.
Right. Possibly my younger cousin, who I
Yes.
supported through her passing.
Yeah.
I will ponder this more, however the message is relevant. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bless them all.
Bless them all. Now, Steph Ward is asking, I had a random thought this morning that someone very special, wondering if they have something to say.
Someone very special to her in the spirit world.
Steph Ward. That's what I'm sensing, yes.
Right, just give me a little minute to tune in and see. So she had a feeling that someone had something special to tell her.
I had a random thought this morning that someone very special. So, yes, wondering if they have something to say. So sounds as though there's someone special in spirit.
Yes. Well, I'm getting a male energy here. And they're saying you're making the right decisions and to look after yourself and put yourself forward. Enough is enough, and go ahead with your decision.
Right.
It's been a long time, this decision. She's been tossing with it.
Just wait for the answer. What a wonderful show, Lois. We've covered so much, and while we're waiting for Steph to make a comment, I would like to thank everybody who has listened, who has watched, and especially to those who have taken part today. What a show we've created, and there's more to come because gorgeous Shaylee, my goodness me, she covers a couple of topics that are very, very interesting for me. Yes, thank you, Charlie. She's thanking us. And Steph, not what I was thinking about, but it makes sense.
Well, yes, your thought and their thought are two different things. And that's what I hope that is helpful for her, because that came through quite strongly. The decision to go with the decision she made. So, yeah, I hope that's very helpful for you.
Oh, Steph was hoping to hear from her mum.
Right. Okay. Let me see. Oh, her mum was loads of fun, absolutely loads of fun, and quite forward too. You know, she would say what she was thinking in the nicest of ways. You know, she's got that back now. She lost that for a while, and she feels that that's part of that was part of her. Before she passed, she's saying that she lost all that oomph, but she's got it back now, and she's saying don't lose that oomph. Just don't lose that oomph. Don't let anyone take it away from you.
Yep, says Steph. And your earlier advice to her was very helpful.
And wonderful.
What a lovely
Steph.
What a lovely note to finish.
I'll give her an angel card too.
All right.
Yes. Have we got time, Annette?
Absolutely.
Okay. Love.
Oh.
She's got love. So bring that love back in, because that's what her mum did, but it was taken away from her, and for reasons. And yeah. So your mum's saying don't let anyone take it away, or anything.
And what a timely message to us all, to love ourselves and to spread our love, to make this a better world. Lois, thank you, thank you, thank you. It has been an absolute delight, as always. And as I said,
absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
All right, well, and thank you, Charlie, saying have a great rest of your day. Well, that's a message to everyone, isn't it? No matter where we are and what time of the day it is, enjoy. As Lois said much earlier, let's make every day special, because we are special. Remember that.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are very special, loving beings, and don't let anyone destroy it. Just keep coming out and your life will change. It will be peaceful and kind and happy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, everybody. I look forward to being with you next month. And no. I'm going to be with everyone else next week. And Lo, we're going to have to work out when to have that show with Shane.
Oh, absolutely. Looking forward to it. I'm quite excited about it. Oh, it sounds so interesting. I love this stuff. This is my thing. Yeah. Hearing about people's near-death experiences, it blows me away.
Excellent. All right, much love, everybody.
Yes. Bye. Bye. Thank you.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views and opinions expressed by Angel Heart Radio hosts, guests, co-hosts and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.